I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about Daniel Cormier shows no interest in meeting with Jon Jones, but admit his rivalry with Bones Jones is over. There's good in that dude, Jones, is what Cormier say. UFC commentator Daniel Cormier has confirmed his rivalry with Jon Jones is officially over. I don't believe that. Bones Jones made his return to the octagon earlier this month at UFC 285. The bout was Jones' first fight in over 3 years. Was also his heavyweight debut as he faced former UFC interim heavyweight champion Ciryl Gane. The two battled over the vacant heavyweight championship left vacant by Francis Ngannou. In his return earlier this month, and Jon Jones' earlier return this month, the legend wasted no time with getting a first-round submission win over Ciryl Gane. Following the victory, Jones taunted his former rival DC over Twitter, which surprised many fans leading into the fight week. Both men who fought in two prior occasions were very civil. I didn't know Jones taunted DC on Twitter. Maybe they're reaching. In fact, Jones offered to have a sit-down meeting with Cormier to bury the hatchet. However, the meeting never happened and hasn't happened yet. I can't say never will. How can you say never? Cormier discussed a possible meeting with himself and Jones in a recent interview on Henry Cejudo's YouTube channel. Henry Cejudo's popping. The commentator DC stated that he doesn't see much point in meeting with Jones. However, Cormier stated that he's no longer a fighter and he doesn't see the rivalry being a thing anymore. He also revealed that he and Jones exchanged messages after the passing of the deaths in their respective families. I don't know what he means about that. Okay, let me see. This is what DC said. I guess me and Jon Jones talked about each other's families, but in the darkest moment, when his mother... Oh, man, I didn't know Jon Jones' mother passed away. When his mother passed away and when my father passed away, he sent a message. He really did, Cormier stated, when reflecting on his rivalry with Jones. Even in that moment, I appreciated that. Of course, I mean, who wouldn't? For all that we've been through, I appreciated him sending that message, same as I sent a message for his mother, because we understand what family is. DC continued, yeah, Jones did send me a message when my father passed and when my mother... Oh, man, he lost both his... I'm super sorry to hear that. And when my mother passed, he did... I thought they said Jones' mother passed. I was like, hold on, what? Let me see, hold on. See, it says when his mother... I didn't know Jones' mother passed. Jones did. There's good in that dude. There really is. There's good in that dude, but I haven't had the opportunity to see it, but we'll see what time brings. We've all made mistakes for us to cast stones at him. You know, that's why in those dark moments, I was never trying to pile on him, okay? We had a great rivalry, but that's to bed now. I'm not a fighter. It's to bed now. I'm not a fighter, and I don't hold ill will towards him right now. The only problem is, okay, this is the good part. I don't feel the need, because what's the point in meeting Jones? I think Jones and I being on the phone for the fighter meeting and not yelling or cussing or hurling insults at each other, there's a positive step. In that positive step, there's enough, because I don't have anything to release. I've moved on, but you never know what time brings. He's basically leaving the door open. It doesn't make sense. Like he said, if there's no beef, I don't see why don't they, especially with his... I could see if DC wasn't a UFC commentator, but as a commentator, it would make all the sense for him to just sit down and have a interview with Jon Jones. DC and RC, they have their own show. They have UFC fighters on. I don't see a reason why not to have Jon Jones on. I feel like it's always been DC. From what I remember, it may, I'm an MMA casual, so I don't really, really, really remember everything. But from what I remember, when DC won the heavyweight Grand Prix in Strikeforce, I felt like, didn't he call Jon Jones out then? And that left a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm like, hold on, you're fighting in Strikeforce, you're in the heavyweight division. Why are you talking about Jon Jones? But maybe I'm wrong about that. That was a very, 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 very long time ago, before DC even joined UFC. So I didn't understand. Maybe I'm making that up, but as an MMA casual, I thought I remember DC called out Jon Jones when he won the heavyweight Grand Prix in Strikeforce. So it's never been Jon Jones. Like, Jon Jones has never called out DC. I don't think Jon Jones has really called out anyone. So it's clearly, a little bit of, a lot of DC ill will to Jon Jones. They had the famous brawl at it wasn't even a weigh-in. I don't even know if it was a press conference. I don't even know what it was. Like a face-off, right? It's like a face-off. I think Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier also faced off there. But then they faced off. They got into a fist fight, which we've almost never seen in the UFC. And then they had the extremely viral moment where Jon Jones and DC were doing an interview. I think they were off the air, or maybe it was before the interview. I think it was after the interview. Jon Jones questions, he said, "Hey, P, are you still there?" and DC was just laughing. He called Jon Jones phony. He was just like, it's so disgusting how you could be this phony as soon as the cameras go off air. And then it got a little bit dark. We don't have to get into that part, but it was funny. The whole thing was just insane. But they fought, like, what? How many times did they fight? They fought twice. Jon Jones defeated DC in the first fight by unanimous decision. In the second fight, he head kicked him. TKO'd him. So, Jon Jones open to the possibility of a sit-down interview with Daniel Cormier. The question is Daniel Cormier really willing to just bury the hatchet? Obviously, Jon Jones doesn't have any ill will towards Daniel. I don't think he has any ill will. Even though he said after that first fight, "I do not like DC." Right? Like, so, listen. Let me know your opinion of this story. I'm of the line, like, listen, everyone doesn't have to like each other, right? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. If Jon Jones and DC will never be friends, then that's fine.